depending on where you are in the world, it is 4 p.m. here, 3:57 to be exact. 3:57 p.m. to be exact. But bonjour, good morning, good night. Aaron, so good to see you. Whew. Today has been a day. It is amazing. And I feel like I'm in the future. So I feel like, bonjour, it is 4 p.m. here. And I specifically get on at this hour because I feel like I'm coming to you all from the future and I can help prevent you all from having bad days or something. Like, if this is what I was sent here for, I feel like this may have been my mission. I'm coming to you from the future. I am coming to you from the future to let you know that you can turn your day around. Today was one of those days. Bonjour, bonjour. Oh, I'm so happy to see everyone. Today was one of those days where, oh, the future is fabulous, okay? Absolutely fabulous. I am coming to you all from the future, okay? Today was one of those days. So euphemisms, that's not my strong point. I can think of a lot of things that aren't my strong point, but when it comes to like sayings, I'm really bad with those. Like really, really bad with sayings. And as if I wasn't an awkward person already, not knowing certain sayings makes conversations very, very awkward. Okay. Very awkward. So, oh, merci for the badge. I appreciate that. Yes. See, didn't I tell you all? It's popping in the future. Okay. We popping bottles. We popping. Yes. No, oh, I need your energy. Oh, perfect. I'm so glad I can deliver. I am so glad I can deliver. So, with those like euphemisms, so this morning, I literally understood, well, not literally, because I woke up on the same side of the bed that I always sleep on. I definitely have a side of the bed that I sleep on. But I get it now when people say they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or however the saying goes. I felt that this morning. Usually something happens in the day that kind of make me feel down, but I woke up feeling down. I woke up feeling down. That was such an awful experience. Yeah, popping collars, bottles. We about that life in the future, okay? I'm coming to you all from the future to assure you that you can and you will have an amazing day. Because my day did not start off good at all. It was one of those things where I woke up like I I'm gonna tell you. So I have an uncle. Well, he's passed. He passed some time ago. But he would wake up every morning and be upset that he woke up. That's how old. I'm just gonna say Uncle P. That's how old Uncle P was. He hated waking up. Like, which is why he lived so long. I am convinced that bonjour. I am convinced that really, really mean people, for some reason, just live so long, which is a bit startling to me because I am just so nice. I'm always just, worried about that because I'm so nice. Like mean people, and this is someone who I'm a licensed mortician as well. I see I have seen. Yeah, he was ready to go home. I mean, he hated this life. Like, and he lived until he was like 1,000. Like he lived to be so old that I was shocked that he was still alive. When he finally passed, I was like, he's still alive? I didn't know he was still with us. That's how old this uncle was. And I am convinced that he lived that long because he was just so mean. So with that, I was channeling my Uncle P this morning because I woke up. This is what he would do. So I would go over in high school because someone had to like sit with him at all times. The passion keeps their heart young. Yeah, just rage. So we would have to take turns. So before school, or at, well, typically before school, I would have to sit with him until like the caretaker arrived. This is what this man would do every morning when he would wake up. I will be the first person he saw when he woke up in the morning. This would be his exact words. He will roll over, open his eyes, and say, "Oh, F." Those were his words when he woke up every morning when he woke up. So I was like, is it me? But no, he just hated living. He just did not want to live anymore. That's how I felt this morning. When I woke up, it took everything in me not to be on my Uncle P, like on some, oh, like, I get it now. I never experienced what it felt like to wake up on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak. Today I did. And I don't know exactly what it was that I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things, in fact, actually. What am I sitting here pretending to be so clueless? I don't know. I know exactly. It's a lot happening. It is. He didn't want to keep living. He did not. Like, he hated life. And every morning, he would be angry. And I will be the first person he saw. And he would open his eyes and just be like, oh, F. And I'm like, well, bonjour. Like, surprise, surprise. Yes. On your way to work. Oh, so good that you could hop on. But today was one of those days where I had to catch myself because I was about to say it. And I didn't have a bad dream. I didn't have, and I'm one of those people, this is a judgment-free zone. I am one of those people where my dreams can alter my real life mood. There have been times when I have broken up with people over dreams. There are times when I have made some very, very wild decisions based off of something that happened. Based off of something that happened in my dreams. So with that, I didn't have a bad dream. I just don't see what that was about. So I had a choice. I had a choice today, and it was a difficult choice. I had a choice. Am I going to just continue on my Uncle P? That's what we're going to call it. Am I going to continue on like my Uncle P vibes, or am I going to pull it together? Bonjour. Merci for joining. It was one of those things where I really had to make a decision, and I had to dig really, really deep. Oftentimes, it's not too hard for me to pull myself up. I think of something funny, I listen to an inspirational podcast, I put on some music, I create the vibes. I create happy vibes. And I am a firm believer. People say that often, like, Jessie, you are just always so happy. It's not, oh, bonjour, oh, merci. It's not something that just happens. Like, you have to work on happiness. I don't I don't know if people understand that, or if we grasp that, or if that makes sense. Happiness is a choice. It is definitely a choice. Bonjour, so good to see you. I am so glad you caught alive. Happiness is a choice. A choice. And it is something that I continue to choose. And I have to realize that some days it is harder to make that choice. And today was one of those days where it was so hard for me to make a seemingly easy choice. You would think that if you had a choice to be happy or not, that we all would choose happiness. Like, who the heck besides Uncle Pete would choose, not to be happy? Yes, I agree. Dreams, and tune into your attention and inwards and tune out the exterior in the world. Oh, absolutely. I take dreams so serious. I'm so glad you joined too. Yeah, so I get it now. Like there were times, because I've always believed that we had a choice, that happiness was a choice. If you want to be happy, you will be happy. If you want this, you will have this. I have always been a firm believer of that. And today tested that theory. Because for the most part, I am just a pretty optimistic person. I think I am a very bright person. Like that's just where I radiate. That's kind of like my baseline. But today I had a small glimpse of what it felt like to not know what choice I wanted to make. And that's when it really hit me, because I feel that, especially if you have people in your life who are just always so happy, they always seem just so bubbly. I'm that person for the most part. And to me, I never got it. I never understood how people could just not choose to be happy. And today gave me a really huge, it was just eye opening to me. It was very, very eye opening to me. And I don't know why I needed to experience that, but I now have a new level of like empathy, a new level of empathy for those people who it seems difficult for them to choose happiness. I get it now, because today, like that's one of the easiest decisions I have to make in my day. Oh, Merci, I love your authenticity. I appreciate that too. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate my authenticity. I thank you so much. But that is one of the decisions that I don't even remember making. Like I never really remember having to make the decision to be happy. To me, I guess it was one of the default things. There are so many decisions that we have to make in our day, big ones and small ones. What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? What am I going to watch? Who do I want to talk to? However, there are so many small decisions we have to make today. And I did not realize how big of a decision being happy was. Because to me, I guess that's on like auto pay, auto subscription or something. I just typically don't have to do anything about it. It's just the switch is just clicked on, like it auto refills, if that makes sense. But today, having to make that decision if I was going to be happy or not, that was really eye opening. So, anyone who's on this live, who's watching this live, if this is something that you have experienced, like I have a new level of respect for you today. Because to me, it was just a no brainer. Like, who the heck doesn't want to be happy? Who wouldn't want to choose that? I almost pulled an Uncle P and was not going to choose happiness. And yeah, once I made that choice, I mean I was just dragging today. And I know a part of it is like I woke up at about 3 a.m. my time, and I'm like chatting with family on the East Coast. And then I started replying to comments. So I threw my schedule off, because I'm typically up by 5. I'm in the gym by 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock at the latest. I'm showered, I'm dressed, I'm getting stuff done. Bonjour. Ah, Debo's in the building. Bow, bow, bow. Are you bouncing today? I am still in Dubai. We. So yeah, and I thought about doing that. Say la vie. I thought about doing that. I thought about just starting my day at 3 something, just getting up, going to the gym. But I just wasn't feeling well, like mentally or physically. I just did not feel well. So, of course, I didn't start getting sleepy until 4:55. So I disabled my alarm, and I just allowed myself time to sleep, because that is a luxury, and that is something that I have to stop being so hard on myself for. Because growing up the way I grew up, you just did not sleep in. You up and at 'em. You had to be up. You had to be dressed. You got to look busy. Even if you have nothing to do, you do not rest. Only the Lord gets the rest. You, my dear, do not. So you need to be ready. So that's always in my head. And I always just felt bad. If I slept in, I felt, just like I wasn't a productive member of society. Like, I felt so bad. Yeah, growing up Haitian, okay? I just felt like I shouldn't have been born. Like, that is how I felt growing up. If you were not up early, if you weren't dressed, if you didn't look like you wanted to contribute to society, it was like, why were you born? Why were you even born? So to me, resting, which is a very, you have to rest. That's non-negotiable. Your body is going to force you to rest one way or another. Either you choose to, or you just get laid down. It's not an option. But the thought of resting makes me feel bad. Yeah, I needed that rest. Like, Keish, you know how I operate. You know how I am. Just, I'm always on. It is so essential. And so today, giving myself that permission to, at 4:55, instead of just powering through, like, you know what, I am exhausted, I'm tired, whatever. I'm just, we gonna thug it out. We gonna thug it out. Allowing myself to just turn the alarm off and to go back to sleep. I still woke up at 7:45. But that's like lunchtime for me. When you wake up at, even though my alarm sounds at that hour, I'm up before then. 8 o'clock is like lunchtime for me. That is lunchtime. So I woke up, and even thugs need sleep. Yeah. I don't understand either. I don't understand how I am always on the go either. Like, it is just, and it's so funny. People who have partied with me and survived to tell the story, they always say the same thing. Like, girl, we literally drug ourselves in the door, across the threshold, just as the sun was about to rise. And you're up recording cappuccino videos. You're up. Like, what? What are you on? What did you take? I've been with you all night. We've been doing the same thing. How are you? I don't know. I don't know. But today it felt good giving myself permission to rest. It was 2 hours. It was 2 hours, but those 2 hours rather signified much more than resting. It was, it kind of felt like an act of defiance. It also felt, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say a luxury, because we should not view resting as a luxury. That is a necessity. That is a necessity. We should not look at resting as, I'm all merci, I'm so glad you could join. We should not look at resting as a luxury. That is a very human experience that we all get to enjoy. That's not a luxury. I'm so glad I caught you live. It's time. I know it's you. I know it's you. But it felt good. So I took my time. I got ready. That's a luxury. I will admit that. That was a luxury, just not having extreme time restraints. Went to the gym, did a full body workout. I still, as I was in that space of getting my physical self together, I was still doing so much mental work, because I was still deciding what I was going to choose for the day. It was still relatively early. Still relatively early. This is how I was up here. It's like, okay, it's like 9 a.m. here. I can't do the math right now. I'm thinking, what's that? 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I started questioning, am I going to ruin other people's day? Because by me being in the future, I have not had my cappuccino today. I had a single shot of espresso. By me being in the future, I feel like there's a heightened level of restraint that I have to, yes, PWI taught me that I could club right. I totally forgot you went to a PWI too, so you get it. Maybe that's what it is. That's what it is. It's definitely the PWIs, because, girl, we just used to never go home. We'll just go to class straight from whatever it was that we were doing. But being in the future, I have had to learn how to practice so much restraint. This power that has been bestowed upon moi, because I have the ability, being in the future, being 8 hours ahead of most people in my life, I have the power to alter their entire day. Because I could send one rogue text message, it ruins someone's whole day when they wake. The fact that I think like this is wild. Who thinks like that? But this is how this was on my mind today. This was on my mind today. Am I going to ruin someone's life today? Am I going to make someone's life difficult? And that's when I knew it's like, girl, girl, you are in the future. You are one of the chosen ones to be in the future, and this is what you're gonna do with your powers, contemplating if you going to ruin someone else's future. That's when I was like, okay, I need to put on a sermon. I need I need all hands on deck. I need to listen to a sermon. I need I need all hands on deck. That's how, that's where my mind was. That's diabolical. But the fact that it crossed my mind, it really, because and so now I get it. I feel like we say things and that whole waking up on the wrong side of the bed, hurt people. I think there are so many things that we say that we haven't egregious, wild, like needed to be stopped. But there's so many things that I feel that we say, and if you haven't experienced it, I feel like you shouldn't say those things. So now, since I woke up not knowing if I was going to choose happiness or mayhem, I get it now. Because at first I could never process people who would choose not to be happy. Because to me, again, that's auto refill, that's autopilot. I never remember having to make that choice. I just feel that it was always an internal switch that always chose happiness for me. Today was not one of those days. I don't know if I need to charge up the battery, if I need to switch chargers, because overnight it wasn't charging. I thought it was charging, but it wasn't charging. The voltage difference, since I'm in Dubai, I don't know what it was. But the fact that my internal switch did not automatically choose happiness, I get it now. And I have a new level of empathy and respect for those who that's there every morning. I just experienced that today, this one time. I could not imagine how that feels to every day wake up having to make that choice for yourself. Now I have a newfound respect. Now I won't use that saying so loosely. Oh, you have a choice to make if you're going to be happy or not. That's so easy for happy people, for people who switch is already just automatically on. A light bulb went off. Choose peace and happiness always. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I get it. Also that hurt people. That's something that I have always said, but I never really got it until today. I was clearly hurting. There was something clearly happening where I was hurting today. And the fact that my mind was to go and hurt someone else, like let me ruin someone else, let me make sure their happy switch doesn't turn on, let me compose this text because misery loves company. All of the taboo sayings I felt in one day. Like it was wild how every single taboo saying. I'm so glad I came out of that moment too. I am so, like, the ancestors had to dig deep. They had to work so hard. Merci. I need to send me all the love, the vibes, the light, because apparently my switch, it gets stuck sometimes. Clearly. I appreciate it all. No, but I was hoping to catch you all for the most part, if you are Eastern Standard Time, catching you to let you know in the future, where I am right now in the future, that it's not always easy to choose happiness. It is not always easy to choose peace. Yeah, working out definitely clear. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I got up and went to the gym, because had I just rested, I probably would have went rogue. I very well could have. I need to check. I need to double check and make sure I didn't send. We gonna know in a little bit if this live disconnects and my phone start ringing. People got the message. Like, I am not the same woman I was. I am not the same woman I was when I sent that message. Two different spaces of time. I'm so far in the future now. I'm not looking back. Andre 3000 said it best. Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. I don't want to talk about what I text you. I don't want to talk about what I. This message is right on time. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I could deliver bars. Okay? Bars. Okay? We are currently have a lot of trauma. It's great that we are now talking about it. We have to. It's so much trauma. So much just, and that is it. That's the hard part of being a conscious adult. You're learning to be a whole person while unlearning, so much that had been instilled in us. And your childhood, your formative years, that's where so much of your personality is developed. That's where so much of your outlook on life, so many things are developed when you are a child. And so many of us have had broken people raising us. And it's no slight on them. They did the best that they could. More than likely, they were raised by a broken person. So when you get to this space where you are really, really doing your best to choose happiness, and I get it now, and I actually feel bad for all the people I have said that to. Happiness is a choice. You just need to make that decision. And I said it like it was just something so easy, because to me it was. And that's something else that I am learning. Just because something is easy for you does not mean that it is easy for someone else at all. And to me, happiness, choosing happiness was always easy. It wasn't until today, when I almost did not make that choice, that I get it now. And we have to remember that throughout our day, throughout just life. What's what the other saying? Common sense isn't common for everyone. What's easy for you is not easy for everyone else. And so to expect people to behave the way you do, it's very unfair, because you wouldn't want someone else holding you to standards that you're not even aware of, standards that you don't even have the tools to reach. And that is the difficult part of being in a space as an adult where you are doing your best to just be a good person. You are doing your best to be a better person. You are doing your best to grow. But you're also dealing with so much hurt and damage and trauma and just life experiences that just no one should experience. It's hard. It is really, really hard. And I have learned, I am learning, I am constantly learning, like every day. There's, yes, it's so necessary to grow, but it's also, happiness is also relative. That's another term that we just use so loosely. Like, what does happiness mean to you? What does happiness look like for me? And if you are someone who never experienced happiness before, how do you even know what that looks like? How do you know what that feels like? Like, there's so many words that we say that are so much deeper than they are. And today I get it. I really, really get it. And I so wish I had just like a binder of all the people I have said that to. Oh, just choose happiness. It's a choice. You just chose not to be happy. I get it. I so get how that choice can be difficult. I get it more than ever right now. And so, is it still a choice? Yes. I'm not saying that happiness is not a choice. I am just saying that there are times, there are spaces in life throughout your day where choosing happiness is not that easy. And again, I thought that was the wildest thing ever. Who would not want to be happy? Who would not choose happiness? I get it because I almost didn't. I almost didn't. So we all have to learn how to extend ourselves grace, extend other people grace, because we don't know what people are not even going through, like growing through. Going is quick. That's quick. But to grow somewhere takes time. That takes time. It takes so much time to grow. And we live in a very, very instant society where whatever you want it right now. If you want to be happy, you listen to the podcast, you read the book, and you think that it's going to happen for you instantly. It takes time. How long have you been hurt? How long have you been sad? Think about that. Think about how much time you have been in a dark space or place, and you think instantly things are just going to change. And that, in my opinion, is why I feel so many people resort back to what's easy for them. Growing is uncomfortable. I can tell you that as someone who is currently growing. It is uncomfortable. It's ugly. It hurts. Like, it is so many emotions that I don't want to deal with. Like, I really don't. So I get it, how people can fold and you just go back to what you know. You go back, whether, and what you know is not always good. What you know is not always healthy, but you know what to expect. It's comfortable, so to speak. It's all of those things. And it's human nature for the most part to want to take the path of least resistance. And for a lot of us, that means going back to what we know. But often, when you go back to what you know, it's difficult to grow. It is very difficult to grow. It's not impossible. I will choose happiness today, Jess. A lot of adjustments on this, and all merci. That's all I want for us. I want all of us to realize that it is a choice, and the choice is not always easy. And I deeply apologize for anyone who's watching and I have ever said that to you. I apologize, just the universe, to anyone who I have ever said that to. I really, really, I feel bad about that because I had never experienced what it felt like. And now that I know what it feels like, that it's not always an easy choice, I get it now. And I feel that we all have to be very, very respectful and conscious of the words and the things that we say to people during different spaces and seasons of their time. Because if you've never experienced it, you can't add your 2 cents. You can't go offering something up if you have never experienced it. And I think we realize that on a higher level, like we wouldn't give, I don't know, a doctor advice on some medical stuff because we feel that we are not qualified to speak on that. There's a lot of things in life that we shouldn't speak on. If you have never experienced it, You shouldn't speak on it. I mean, don't do a Jesse and just get awkwardly silent and stare at them, because that's what I do, and that's very awkward to people. People have told me that have it's made them uncomfortable. But if you have not been through certain things, yeah, and it in person it gets really awkward because I'll just get quiet and stare at you. And people have told me, like, Jay, that made me very uncomfortable. Like, I don't like what's happening right now. Can you stop? Because I will stare you down. And I'm totally okay with silence. And that troubles people, especially, I mean, I guess if we're in the middle of a conversation, I just get quiet and stare at you. I can see how that could be a little creepy. Not my words, theirs. I was comfy. I didn't know it was creepy. But be that as it may, I think it will behoove us all. Yeah, sometimes I'm processing things. Sometimes I'm processing things. And again, and getting back to that instant world that we live in, people expect an instant response. That's a reaction. If you say something heavy to someone and you were already thinking what you wanted to say. You're reacting. You're not responding. You didn't take time to process that. And a lot of people don't because it's uncomfortable. It makes I'm comfy. I'm totally comfy. Like comfy with awkward silences. It's not even awkward. It's just a silence to me. I'm not awkward. There's nothing awkward about the situation to me. It's just silence. And apparently that makes people uncomfortable. Um, I I am very sensitive to other people's feelings. To I've learned a lot, but I am really learning because I used to be and I'm not going to say used to be, I am to a certain extent a very controlling person. I am extremely controlling to those I love and to those I care about. If I love you and I care about you, I am so overbearing at some point. I am very intense, is the word I have been told. Very, very intense. And it is a level of control because especially if I feel that I have gone through something that's similar to what you are going through or what you might go through, I feel like I'm stopping you. I'm like, I'm in the future now. Your girl loves time traveling. I feel like if I can go in the past and save you from this unfortunate circumstance or this or whatever it is, oh, merci, this experience, I can do. But sometimes that's not what people need. Sometimes people don't need to be saved. Sometimes that experience was for them to experience. Some people are, yeah, but it's like what was a mistake for you, for me, cannot turn out that way for someone else. And I'm learning that as well. So I have been doing a lot of apologizing as of late because there were so many times when I thought I was helping people. So many times when I thought I was helping people, and that's not what they needed. They didn't need to hear me say some cliche quote, this too shall pass. Or just certain things at certain times I think are just inappropriate. Sometimes you just don't need to say anything. But I'm the awkward one because I get silent. Because I get silent, I'm the awkward one. Sometimes there is just nothing to say. Yeah, mistakes are a part of the journey. I believe that to be true. And I think back at my poor choices and feeling as though I was preventing people from making mistakes. That's not my place. That's their journey. Yeah, sometimes there are just no words. And it's okay it's okay. But we always feel that we have to have something to say. We have to have the instant feedback. And a lot of times, and I'm saying this for me, a lot of times, things that I have said, I probably had no right to say them. Because even if I had been through it, your experience is still going to be different from mine, especially if you did not inquire about how I felt about something. And I'm just like spewing all of these things, like it's just, I think it will behoove us all to be a little more reserved with the advice that we give, with the seemingly innocent things that we're saying. It's not even innocent, it's just filler. To me, it's just filler words. It's filler sayings. Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through this. There's just certain things that I just think, say less. Just say less. Like they're all, oh, so good to see you, Aaron. Merci. Bisou, merci for the badge. I appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes just things just don't need to be said. And instead of embracing the silence, we fill it with cliche sayings. When my mom, when my mom passed, when my mare passed, I did not want to hear that this too shall pass. I did not want to hear that. A lot of people said it to me. This too shall pass. You know, I can't even think. The morning dew, something rise. I don't even know. And like my initial thought was just like, shut up. Like, I don't want to hear that right now. Like my life is, oh my God, I don't want to hear that right now. And now I do. I feel really, really bad for the people that I have said things like that to. It wasn't my intentions to be dismissive. It wasn't my intentions. Yet weeping may endure for the night. I knew it was sometime. I knew it was wet and a time of day. I told you all I'm horrible with sayings. People said that when my dad died, like he isn't coming back. This isn't. Yes. People don't know what to say. And sometimes saying less is the best thing. There are just certain things I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that this too shall pass. I don't want to hear, what is it, weeping indoors in the night. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I don't. Like how is this too shall pass? How is that helping me right now? How, Sway? How has it helped you? How has that panned out for you? Has it passed? Shut up. Yes, like I was windmilling. When people would say that to me, windmilling. Yes, when you don't always have to have everybody just thinks they're so philosophical and just so everyone just, and I get it. Like when someone we love is hurting, we want to help. But sometimes helping is just sitting with them in silence, just sitting on the phone with them, not saying anything. Or you all know my default space is just laughter. Like I laugh in very, very inappropriate times. Very inappropriate time. I did my homework. I feel like I got in trouble. You know who I'm talking to. I did my homework. I did my homework. Yeah, sometimes we do. We just have to say less. We do. And yeah, just coming from the future, I want you all to know that some decisions are difficult to make. Your therapy stories live rent free in my mind, by the way. Oh, merci. The way how much cappuccinos cost here, I may have to start collecting rent. If you have been inspired by a cappuccino and consignment tell, you got to donate to the cappuccino fund. It is. I did not realize how much. We're not going to get on that. Yes, I wouldn't want that either. And it's later without getting. It's yeah, it's one of those things where I get it. People people expect you for the so really what it comes down to is people expect you to behave the way they would behave in certain situations, and that's just unfair. And I owe a lot of people apologies. I'm blocked for a lot of people. I can't even apologize to them unless they watching this live. They won't even get the message because but it's unfair. We would not bonjour. We would not want people. We don't want people to tell us how to feel, how to think, or any of those things. But we do it to other people so often. So often. Yeah, honoring those wishes. A lot of times, what we do, and I saw, and as a licensed funeral director, I saw that too, just all too often, where it's not even about the person who has passed. It's about the living. I mean, so much of what we do is for the living, especially when it comes to funeral services. Please say that again. It's the block for me. I'm telling you. Yeah, so much of that. It's for so much is it's for us. It's for us. You even think about going back to those times when we say and I'm sure we don't mean to be insensitive. It's just a default. People don't like to be uncomfortable. So if someone you love is hurting, they're sad, you're going to do whatever you can to make yourself comfortable. It's not even about them. You telling me that this too shall pass, and what is the weeping indoors in the morning at night, and all this ridiculousness. At that point, it's not even about me. I am making you uncomfortable. You seeing me upset, you seeing me cry, you seeing me down, you seeing me in whatever space you're not used to seeing me in is making you uncomfortable. So at this point, you are doing everything you can to make things more comfortable for yourself. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but just coming from the future, I felt that it was my responsibility to hop on and be a beacon of light if you are on the East Coast, West Coast. If it's still early where you are, it is. What time is it? 4:45 here now. Yeah, it does. It's hard. It is hard going through. It's hard seeing people you love hurt. It is hard seeing people you love uncomfortable, but sometimes that is just part of the process. You can't force someone through hurt. You can't force someone through mourning. You can't force someone through their growing phase. Going is easy. That's the easy part. But when you are growing, you cannot be rushed. You can't. Like it is a lot of work. It takes so much time and energy to grow, like literally. And I kept wondering, like, why am I so lethargic? Like I have just been so tired, so tired. And I am one of those people who I'm always going. I'm always going. But there have only been a few times in my life where I have grown. And that's happening right now. And it takes time, it takes energy. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I can help. It takes a lot of natural resources to grow, and it cannot be rushed. It cannot be rushed. And it saddens me that so many of us don't have the space to grow because it takes time. And time is of the essence. We hear that all the time. Time is of the essence. I don't have time. Time is ticking. Everything. Time, time, time. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. You do not have time. You do not have time to grow because everything is so instant and everything has to be done so fast. And it saddens me. This shouldn't be a luxury. Oh, courage too. Oh yes, we. It takes so much courage because during that process of growing, you lose so much. You lose so much. But as I am growing, I am not on the other side of growth. I am convinced that what I will gain will be it will be so worth it. I have to tell myself that, or I have to tell myself that. But growing does, it takes courage because it's not even when we say that, oh, when you grow, you lose people, you lose the self that you knew. That's been the hardest part for me. Sadly, losing so many loved ones, moving around. I've always moved around a lot in my life, and this was pre like Wi-Fi. So you lost touch with people. Like I lost, like there, I'm not going to say I'm used to it, but it's been a part of my journey, whether it's because I got blocked, because they blocked me, or simply because just technology at that time did not permit for people to call me while I was living in Turkey, while I was in Italy, while, you change addresses. Where's the letter going? The house phone, change numbers, it wasn't as easy to keep in touch with people. So I've grieved my wild 20-year-old careless self so many times. Yes, that's one of the parts of growing that I believe we don't discuss is you lose who you thought you were. I felt like I knew myself. I felt that I had a pretty good grasp on who I was. But it's not until you are growing into new phases, new stages, that you realize, like, I don't even know her. That's wild. It's draining. That's why I'm so tired. That is why I'm so tired. And that is why I am extending myself an extra level of grace right now because I am getting to know me. I'm getting to know the person I am right now. Even when I do talk to family, I have to extend them grace because they've known a version of me for so long. And now that I am transitioning, now that I am in a new space, it's going to take them time to catch up, just as it has taken me time to grow. And I've wanted people to give me space and opportunity to do what I needed to do. I have to extend that same grace. We all do. Not Facebook memories leave me embarrassed every day. That's why I just make a whole new page. Don't remind me of nothing. I am no longer that woman. I don't even know her. Okay? Oh, merci. I'm so glad that I could come from the future. I felt like this was my I felt that it was my obligation to come from the future and chat with you all about this. I really did. Because if I can prevent anyone from experiencing what I did this morning, I want to. I really want to. That was not a good feeling. It was not a good feeling, and I'm not gonna, try to prevent people from, because sometimes it's a part of the journey. But I don't want just certain things I don't want us to go through alone. I should say that. None of us can prevent someone from going through what they need to go through. That's just what it is. And that's something else I have had to learn in my growing process. No matter how much I try to warn people or tell them, well, this happened. Yes, the future. The future. A lot could happen in 8 hours, okay? I feel like it is my duty to come to you from the future. And it's ultimately to let you know that you are not alone. There's absolutely nothing I can do or you can do to prevent someone from living a life that they are living. It's not. All we can do is just let the people know that they're not alone. Because we're all going to make our own choices. There's been so many times in my life where people have, I saw it as them being controlling, trying to warn me, doing all of those things. You're still going to do what you want to do. But it feels good to know that you are not alone. And that is what I am growing into learning. That people don't always want to hear my insight, my take on it, my opinion. Sometimes people just want to know that they are not alone. That's it. That's it. Mm. Sometimes separation does help. Sometimes separation does help with, and it doesn't even have to be a physical separation. Mental, emotional, however, we all need different things when we are in our season of growth. And what I needed is going to be totally different from what anyone else needs. Yeah, that's true. Some people don't want to grow. I love you more. Oh my goodness, Bizu. I love you. Yeah, and even with that, I'm learning that it's just not their time to grow. Hopefully they will grow. Hopefully they will grow. Will they grow in tandem with you? That's what I am learning. Because now that I'm ready to grow, I expect other people to grow in tandem. It's not their time. It's just not their time. It is not their time to grow. And I have to learn that. We appreciate the necessary vision. Oh, merci. Yeah, we all need our time to grow. We do. And as a parent, as a protector, as a provider, as a any of those things, just when you love people, you want to shield them from life's hurts and dangers and all of those things. But just think about, how some of those things help build character in your life. Some things are just egregious. Some things none of us should ever have to experience. I am not one of those people that everything happens for a reason. Some things should have never happened. And I stand 10 toes down on that. There is nothing anyone can say or anyone can wrap it up in a cute bow to make me feel any different on certain things. Certain things no one should ever have to experience. And we could tussle anywhere on that. I stand 10 toes down. Like I will lay somebody down who disagrees with that. There are just some things none of us should experience. However, there are some things in life that we do have to experience that helps us in our journey, in our development, in our growth. And it's needed. And also, oh bonjour. And also knowing my husband and I got done with this that's amazing. Yeah, and just knowing that it's okay. Not everyone's going to grow with you. It's not their time to grow. It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't that's something else that I feel that we are so programmed to, it has to be someone's fault. If people separate, if people stop speaking, if people, whatever happens, someone has to be at fault. It's not always someone's fault. You're just in different spaces, in different places. Does that mean it's finite, that you all will never connect again, that you all will never be together again? No, it does not mean that, unless something happens and one of you die or something. Then in that case, throw out everything I just said. Today's the day. But outside of that, Just because right now isn't what's happening, it's not working, does not mean that that is going to be the case forever. We all have our seasons to grow. We all have our seasons to sow. We all have our seasons to do whatever it is that we want to do. And expecting someone else just because you're ready, because it's your time to hop on board with that, it is simply unfair. Very unfair. Merci, I appreciate that. It is very unfair. So that controlling part of me that I spoke about earlier, the controlling Jesse, everybody got to grow. Everybody in this house got to grow. If you're not growing, you going. How unfair is that? How unfair is that? Because I woke up ready to grow. I woke up, this is my season, and I expect everyone else to be in that season avec moi. That is just not, it's not fair. So in this growing process, I am learning that. I am learning that it's not, and growth isn't always linear. Sometimes you take steps back. Sometimes it's ups and downs and highs and lows and circles and everything else. It is just, it's not pretty. It is not pretty, but I feel that it is necessary. So, I know that was a lot to take in for those if you were here the entire time. It was a lot. I get it. I get it. But no, I do. I wanted to apologize for some things that I may have said. Yeah, it's a very difficult place to be in when you are growing and others are not, but it's okay. That's what I'm learning. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm also growing in the sense, oh, bonjour. I am also growing in the sense of knowing when to give people space. When to give people space. That intense part of me, I always want to be there. I always want to be on. I always want to know what's going on. Sometimes you need space. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no one's fault. There's no one anything. So it is time for a glass of wine. So gotta wrap this up. But as I am in the future, I just really felt that it was my duty to just hop on and just share that, like my experience today, what I have been experiencing with the hopes. It's not going to change your day. It's 5 o'clock here. In fact, it is 4:59. And even if it were not, your girl is still going to drink. Okay. It just so happened to be five. It just so happens to be five. I time travel. Okay. It could be 5 o'clock anytime for moi. In tea time. Yes, but I appreciate you all so much. Merci for just hopping on your time, your energy, your space, your love, all of those things. It means the absolute world to me. So just know that part with that it is 5 o'clock here and it's time. It's time for wine. Part with that. And with also just knowing that sometimes it is not easy choosing happiness. And as one of the happiest people you may know, I get it now. I get it now that how choosing happiness is not always easy. And I feel so bad for people that I just blurted that out to, because I get it now. Going through what I went through today, I get it. So tell the universe your intentions. Yes, I have been manifesting it all day. I have been speaking what I want. What I want. I have been speaking that. So merci for the reminder. Yes. So I love you all in the present, past, future, wherever we are in time, wherever we are in our space of growth. Know that you are not alone. So good to see you too. Know that you are not alone. And know that just because I'm not saying anything doesn't mean that I'm not listening. I'm not there. I'm just, sometimes there is just nothing to say. That's it. Ciao for now. Like, that was it. That was it. You wanted me to say more. See? See? You all have an amazing day. Know that you are loved, and you're not alone. You are not alone. So dig deep. Dig deep. So bisous. Ciao for now.